Okay, so let's take a look at how you can set up Azure Cosmos DB for MongoDB account, and then we will try and import some sample data or some data into that database, right? So what we can do is first we will create Azure Cosmos DB account. So here you can see I already created one instance, but you can click on create to see how it works. Now here you can see Azure Cosmos DB for MongoDB. Click on create. Next you have to pick the subscription and resource group. Then you choose instance name, location, then choose between the capacity of serverless or provision throughput. Then you can also apply the discount or also limit the throughput, right? Then version default remains 4.2. You can choose between old and new. Then review and create, which would bring you to instance like this, right? Let's click there and check how it looks. Now here you can see everything is set up, and I also have one collection here within database name my table, right? So what I can do here is click on Data Explorer. That is the place where you get to work with your data, right? Now the thing is I want to play with some of the sample data for this particular database and collection. So I already created the database my table, also have my task as collection. Now the next thing would be to open Azure Data Studio. So Azure Data Studio I'm opening, and within which I'll be making connection from Cosmos DB all the way to here in Data Studio. As you can see, I have already one connection established. I can right click on it and delete that connection because I want to show you everything from start. Now within Azure Data Studio, what I will do is go to extension. Then I will come here to check this Azure Cosmos DB API for MongoDB extension and install that. Once I do that, I am ready to proceed, right? Now the thing is I will have to also think of the options that we have. So whenever you want to connect through connection strings, you will get all of them within settings and connection strings. So your Cosmos DB account has everything planned and you can good to go with that. For example, you can also find options for working with your data right from the Data Explorer itself. You can create new collection and new database, and even after that, let's say you want to add documents, you can do so, right? You can also open Mongo shell and work just like you do in your MongoDB. Now the thing is I have everything here, but I want to make use of Azure Data Studio, right? So that's one of the reason I was trying to connect. So I will go to make a new connection, right? And here I will choose new connection, which will look like this. You can clear the list of existing if you don't want them. Then go to browse, click on Azure, then it will search for the connection, then choose the available database account for Cosmos DB, and once it finds that, it will autofill the connection details for you. So let it do that. Click on that Cosmos DB API account, right? Now click on connect. You can also use connection string, but everything is filled out for you, so no need to manually do that. Now notice that you are connected and it has also shown your collection, right? And database name, my table, my task being your collection. Now here in this particular tab, you will be forced to do everything from scratch, like creating new database, open in portal, query data, etc. But you don't need to go there. Simply click on database and you will find your database and collection listed here, right? So if you click on your database, here you will get access to adding new collection or import sample data. You can use sample data from Azure Studio, right? So you can click on that. So that option will basically give you a prompt. This will create a collection name customer data inside database my table. It may incur additional cost to your account. Do you want to proceed? So if you don't want to proceed, simply say no. Okay, now let's see. If I want to create a new document, I will simply create a new document with the JSON data here. So I already have one JSON data that I can open. So here, as you can see, your JSON document, and you want to create a new document with some pre-filled data. So here you can add the ID, right, if you want to, or if you don't add that, can simply go with the option. Currently I have these 10 entries of its own that I will be adding. So let me use the option, right? So everything is listed here, right? So data looks okay to me. Now I can see if I can push this data to, okay, now once we add some data into this, we can click on save. Now here we have given ID of 1 here, underscore ID data will be filled for us. So as you can see, I already have that document. So I will close this, then go to documents, and it will show me at least one document here. I can click new again, and again I have option to add one more document here. Now what I can do is I will add one more entry. Let's see this second one, and I will paste that and then click on save. Right, like this I have 2 documents. Then let's add 3 more. Let's make it total 4 document. So I have something to go over. Click new document again, and okay, already we have ID2. We can click save. It seems like those 2 were taken, right? So ID2, ID1, right, and then ID again 2. Can simply replace something here for third, right? So let me check this, and now I can update. Underscore ID not found for some reason, so I will have to delete this. Okay, so now that we selected, we can confirm deletion. So we can also delete that. Now let's go with new document. Here let me add second entry for my document, right? So let's copy this. Okay, so if you don't have available data, you can just manually type in, right? Now let's save this, and it seems like we don't have. Okay, so we have now underscore ID option, right? Now next thing, we will add one more document. Again I will try and add new entry to this and paste it here, right? Now I will try to save this, right? And if we do it successfully, you will have these 3, right? So now the next thing is accessing all of this within our data studio. Let's try and find out what we have. So let's see if I click on my task and refresh. Let's hope that it's catching up with the new data. In case if you don't see the documents, the best thing you can do is go back to your connection and click on refresh. Most likely in that case it may show up. Here you can see I have one collection, right? Then it will refresh again, and let's see what happens now. If it doesn't show any documents at all, that means we have caching issue, and that is one of the problems, right? So we can, however, check the OpenMongo shell, and we can use the command for showing all the documents, right? Meanwhile, you can also go back again on Data Explorer. Okay, for simplicity I can close this, go to Data Explorer, and it will show up. Right here you can see all of my documents totally functional. Now the thing is, I can click on them and I can view them. Totally beautified and properly arranged. I didn't pasted it that way, but it later managed to adjust it. So we have underscore ID, and which is sharded in case of MongoDB, and in case of Cosmos DB it has added the object ID function to that as well, right? So in case of viewing all of this into your Azure Data Studio, you will have to see if it's something you can do about cache, because as you can see documents state will be shown as unknown, etc. most of the time, but you get the idea how to view that on your Azure portal, right? So if you want to work with, say, small amount of data, you can do that from Azure portal. And if you want to run queries and run the Mongo shell, etc., you can use Azure Data Studio as well, and then get that data from the command line itself.